On the Cabana couch today with the lady behind the label that we love, Ruby Yaya, and have been wearing for over 10 years, Melissa. How did this all start?
Well, Lee, I have been involved in the fashion industry for a very long time. Actually, my family has been involved in the fashion industry for a very long time. My great-great-grandfather started a drapery business in Crow's Nest in Queensland.
Wow.
Many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And then since then, my great-grandfather, my grandfather and my father have all been textile agents. So I worked for my father from the age of 20. And I used to go and sell to local fashion designers throughout Queensland.
Okay, and then you obviously got the bug and thought, I want to give this a go. Because your background's fabric, when you are designing, do you go fabric, this would look great like that, or do you go design, this is the perfect fabric for it? Which way does it go?
Because of my background,
Yes.
I choose fabrics first.
Okay.
Fabrics and prints.
And with our Australian lifestyle, you design here in Australia. So I know you take into consideration our lifestyles, fabrics. What else do you consider?
I also try to make Ruby Yaya pieces a little bit special and elevated. So I take into consideration trims and accessories and buttons.
Yeah. It's the little touches.
The little touches that just make Ruby Yaya Ruby Yaya.
Can I ask where Ruby Yaya came from? I mean, it's a fun name.
Lee, Clark and I, my husband, had already had two fashion brands, and so this was our third women's wear brand that we have created. And I just had to come up with a name, and I just thought that Ruby Yaya meant happiness and fun.
And it does. And it comes through in the fashion as well. Now, you mentioned Clark, your husband.
Yes.
This is a very family business though too. So 5 kids. I've known you and seen these kids grow up, which is amazing. And quite a few of them are involved in the industry somehow.
Yes, so my eldest daughter, Isabella, she's a lawyer and just about to have a baby, her first baby.
So exciting, Grandma.
But when she was 15, she was dragged along to trade fairs with me and put to work. So she would help me write all the orders.
Yeah, fantastic.
So she did that from the age of 15. And then my son Oliver didn't get involved until the last few years. And he still designs one of our more contemporary brands, Atami.
And does a great job. I love it.
Thank you. So he's more into organic cottons and probably a little bit more sophisticated prints.
Yes.
And then I have twin girls. Sophia is not involved at all. She's a little bit
Careful
full of
what
energy.
you say.
Full of energy.
Careful what you say.
Yes, and creative, but probably not for the fashion industry.
Okay.
And then her twin sister Grace is an interior designer. She also has followed me around on fashion shoots since she was probably about 12. And although she's an interior designer, she has helped us in marketing and has helped me now with design.
Yeah.
And also with the interiors of the stores.
Yeah, amazing, and doing a great job. Yes. Okay, but go back to Clark. Come on. He met you.
Oh, Clark.
Through fashion.
Through fashion, he did. So he was one of my father's largest customers, and he had heard through the industry that my father had a good-looking daughter. So he said to my father, for the next appointment, don't come in yourself, send in your daughter. So off I went to see Clark and sold him thousands and thousands of metres of fabric, a lot of it which he still has today because he did not need. But,
what a lovely love story.
Yeah. But that was the start of our relationship.
And still going strong. So it's great to see you're such a strong family unit.
We are.
And as I said, very Australian focused, lifestyle focused.
Yes.
So let's talk Ruby Yaya. Who is a Ruby Yaya lady? How would you describe her?
I would describe a Ruby Yaya lady as someone who loves life, embraces colour,
Yes.
loves having fun, and expresses herself through her fashion.
And ageless? Because you cater for
Definitely
all ages.
ageless, yes.
Yeah.
I still see some of my daughters wear Ruby
Yeah,
Yaya.
fantastic.
And then I see my mum also likes to wear some Ruby Yaya dresses.
She wears it well, definitely.
Thanks.
All right, and then you started really doing caftans, and I mean,
Yes.
Ruby Yaya's evolved from that. So caftans to me is comfort, you throw it on, go, suits pretty much every body shape.
Yes.
Have you sort of kept that philosophy through the whole Ruby Yaya range now?
Yes, I think that Ruby Yaya can suit all shapes and sizes, and my dresses and my shirts would be quite shapeless. We do have belts so that
Yes.
if you want to create shape, that you can use that, but you don't have to. So they just the dresses look just as good whether they're worn with the belts or without.
Now, also, you are very clever in clashing fabrics and prints and so forth. How did all that come about? Like, is that from the fabric days?
Yes, so when we used to sell to local fashion designers throughout Queensland, I would have done that in the late 80s, early 90s, and there were some fabulous characters that I met along the way.
Yeah.
One of my favourites was this gorgeous Texan woman, and she was loud and brave and bright and had no fear in clashing prints. So I watched in amazement at the way that she would choose her fabrics and put her trims together and clash prints. And I never ever thought that that would have any impact on my
Wow.
life. But still today, I think about her when I do go to mixing and matching prints. So she's still a muse of mine today.
Isn't that fantastic? All right, now you love patchwork. There's always
Yes.
something patchwork in your range.
Yes,
Animal?
I love animal.
Okay.
I love animal. Yes.
Do you have any other favourites?
Reptile.
Okay.
I love sequins.
Yes. Embroidery's always been a strong part
Embroideries,
too.
always embroideries. When I used to work with my father also, I had the opportunity to travel to India in the 90s with a very crazy fashion wholesaler from Melbourne, a very Aussie bloke. And he took me to India because we were dealing in the surf industry. So I was like 20 years of age and had a bit of a feeling to what the younger generation might like. So off we went to India, and in those days he had a great fear of food poisoning. So he would bring his fresh eye fillet in a cryovac
No way.
and his little cooking utensils, and he would travel across to India with that in his suitcase. I don't think you'd be allowed to do that anymore. And so he used to take me into the villages, and we used to watch the embroideries happening. So I always remember and appreciate the value of that.
Okay, so a little bit of sparkle as well.
Little bit of sparkle. I think that comes from my ballet days.
Oh yes,
So-
we've all had those.
So, yes, I think that my sequin obsession is because I did ballet from the age of 5 until I was 18, and so I loved the concerts. And my mother used to make all our
Tutus
costumes.
and costumes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they always sequins, and so that's what I still put into my design.
So your trans-seasonal range that's about to launch, how
Yes.
would you describe that with your colours and your styles?
I think that it's still muted, but it still does have some bright pieces to it. So with my plain pieces, there's embroidery,
Yes.
and sequins.
Yeah, nice.
I have muted the colours slightly, but there's still some bright pinks, some blues, but they might be with a darker background.
Thanks for sharing the Ruby Yaya story.
Thanks so much, Lee, and for making it so easy for me.